Today's episode of the Hard Knocks recap show on HBO is here. It's ready, and I have a brand new guest joining me. You're going to find out who. You're going to love it. Before we get to the episode, I am reminding you that I'm at the Burbank Comedy Festival. This week, I have a show, as you hear this, tonight, August 16th, 6 p.m. Comedy, lots of comics, and it is an active week here on the West Coast with comedy. So if you're coming out, if you're in the area, let me know. You can come see me perform tonight, 6 p.m. Today on the show, we took in Hard Knocks episode 2, and who is joining me? None other than Jem the Baker. That's right, fellow Raider fan, fellow sports fan. She has been quite active this summer, so we catch up, see what she's doing. Concerts, baseball, college sports, and of course, Raiders. We get into it, and Hard Knocks as well. So, are you watching Hard Knocks? If you are, you're going to jump right in and know what we're talking about. If you're not, this is going to be the perfect recap for you. So check it out. Also, there's plenty of stuff on my YouTube page, so if you haven't subscribed, do it. You'll see all my stand-up clips, not to mention all the shows going up as well. Interviews, stand-up comedy, the whole thing. So, here we are, episode 2, Hard Knocks, with myself and Jem the Baker. Here we go. All right, joining me today, Jem the Baker is with us. Hello, she's back, fellow Raider fan. She is yes, she is at Baker_Raiderette. I now call you Queen of the Raiders, is the name I've given to you now.
I'll do my best to serve the Raider Nation.
Well, I feel like you've spent this summer gallivanting around. You're fully immersed in Raiders. You even go to Raiders preseason games last week, as I saw. So catch me up on your summer real quick beyond Raiders, because I know you've got a couple things you've been doing.
Yeah, when I wasn't procrastinating, I was I finished my PhD. So I did my dissertation defense. I technically am still doing a few final revisions, but I'm wrapping up the dissertation and PhD, and I just started law school yesterday.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's just lots of learning. We love it.
So you got a PhD and you went straight into law school?
Yeah, I didn't originally. I originally planned to take a break, but the writing process just, when it moves you, and when you need to go to Vegas, you need to go to Vegas. So, I just kind of went right into it. We'll see how much of a mistake that was, but.
And then football season starts in a month. Yeah, this is going to be a glorious explosion, or maybe you may come through with flying colors.
I might not sleep until January, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I see your spin bike back there wrapped in shrink wrap. So it might stay that way because you sound very, very busy.
Yeah, I definitely, and there is a gym here. So if I have to wake up at 5, I will. But yeah, the spin bike, I don't know, something might go by the wayside for a little bit.
It's only natural. Some things are going to have to get sacrificed.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I was contacting you because we're doing Hard Knocks this year on the network, and I'm doing different guests every week. So I text you do you want to be one of the guests for one of the episode reviews? And you write back, I just went to Taylor Swift. I was out way too late. And then you're like, I'll text you about this later or something. So you actually went to Taylor Swift. You are one of the lucky few that actually went.
My best friend and I got really lucky. We'd sort of talked about it all summer. My best friend is a Rams fan, and she got tickets originally, and she sold them. And we realized, we were kind of like, oh, we're not really huge fans. And then by the time we kept seeing Taylor Swift and the excitement and how ridiculous this whole thing was, we were like, oh, we want to go. So we were sort of like, well, what do we do? We ended up waiting until the day of. We bought the tickets at about 3 p.m. And we heard horror stories too, where people
Yeah.
like bought their tickets on StubHub and they didn't get them or they didn't scan or whatever. And somebody named Oscar sent us his tickets and they worked.
Oscar.
So yeah,
Wow.
Oscar.
Who is this Oscar? Did you have to
Oscar
meet him
is
in a parking
dope.
lot? Oh no, it's all digital these days.
I mean, he could have been, he probably was in the parking lot. Like if I sell him, great. And if not, like I'm going in. So
So you're not even a big Taylor Swift fan, but like the fandom and the like word of mouth hooked you because I know so many people that are now hooked be like, I gotta go see what this is all about at some point.
as a religious studies person, like it was definitely a religious experience.
Wow.
It was also like, and I hate to like gender it, but it was wild to me. Like there were no like drunk football fans like throwing up or like yelling at
Hmm.
each other. Like everyone was very nice to each other and
Yeah.
like, oh yes, please. Like it was sort of just this spirit of like we're all here like for the same thing and it's just like we're all friends and the traditions that have developed just out of this tour, like there are these chants that people say when Taylor like starts playing a certain song. They like all
Huh.
know this.
Huh.
Or the friendship bracelets, or like when we were walking out, someone was like, "Here, these are paper rings," and it because Taylor has a song called "Paper Rings," and it was just all these like traditions that have been shared like just this year and
Uh-huh.
that are now like really deep. Um, yeah, it was fascinating. It was fascinating. I was out way too late, but it was
Yeah.
really
There's
fascinating.
a whole like lifeblood world around Taylor Swift, and I was listening to some people review the concert. Like this has really been like her summer. Like, have
Yeah,
we not talked about anybody else? But like this tour is selling out all over. She's in LA for 4 nights. It's
yeah.
impossible to get tickets. She's playing for 3 hours plus. What pop star are we putting her in Michael Jackson category yet? Like, what other pop star had a tour like this? I can't think of anything in recent memory. That's why I
Yeah.
went far back to Michael Jackson.
I mean, the person I thought of was Elton John. Like the
Hmm.
performance and the costumes and like I don't know how she did it. Like I don't know. I needed a whole day to recover, and she
Hmm.
got up and did the whole show again the next day.
Yeah.
How? How?
How is that done? Yeah. And multiple cities, 3 hour
Yeah,
plus concerts. I mean, it looks like she dances and is really physical. So that's a
yeah.
lot of calories burned.
In heels. Yeah.
Uh, in heels. I don't fully subscribe to the fact that Taylor Swift might be human. I think she might be AI or a
Yeah.
robot
That's
or
very
something.
possible.
I don't know if I've ever heard her speak other than like songs and stuff.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wonder what's up with her, like the inner circle. Like, what is she actually like? We'll never know. It seems like PR is very guarded. So
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
wonder what's actually goes on with her. I wonder if she's nice, she's not nice, if she's a robot. What's going on?
We had a theory. They gave us these bracelets that like the technology was really cool. If depending on where you were sitting, they like lit up and made these designs and things during the concert. And we were like, these probably have a listening device, so Taylor
Ah,
knows exactly what we like and what we want to see. And so for her next album and tour, she's going to give the audience exactly what they want because she does that. She just knows.
yeah. I heard that too, that she
Yeah.
will like or retweet someone who says just went to the Taylor Swift concert who has like 5 followers or something. And she'll like that, or someone on her PR team will. But it's like catching like wildfire to the point where
Oh,
guys like me and all my burnout friends are like, Taylor Swift, like I might go.
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, are we talking about this now? Like I like some songs, like maybe that's enough. But like
Yeah.
you just want to see what happens at these things. And then like
Oh,
we're kind of invested in her life a little bit as
yeah.
well. Like with the boyfriend breakup a few months ago.
Oh,
I'm like,
gosh.
who's gonna be a new guy? I'm having conversations with my girlfriend for 20 minutes plus. I'm like, you know who she should date? And I'm throwing out suggestions to her.
Right? I know. I had that conversation. I was like, who could she date? Like
Hmm.
she turned down Travis Kelsey, apparently.
Oh
Which
no,
I
yeah, no, I don't see that working out. That's a good
don't
call.
know. I just who like is able to understand this lifestyle that she has
Hmm.
created, and like when would she see that person?
Right. Right. Which
I
makes
don't
me
know.
think whoever she dates has got to be 85% for PR because they're not going to see each other. And
Right.
it has to be someone who understands the lifestyle. So it's got to be someone less famous than her.
I think so too.
And
Yeah.
maybe in the acting world or not music world. I mean, there's no way music world,
I think you're right. Yeah, it
you
would
know?
almost have to be like a normal person that could almost like come on tour and just kind of like an
I don't know.
athlete's
Athlete would
spouse.
be good because the off
Yeah,
season, during the off season, it could work.
that's true. Yeah.
You've got those months where you could just, I mean, that'd be the way to see each other. You just hang around the tour.
Yeah. I
But
yeah,
it's
I
got to
think
be, yeah, it's got to be less famous than her, but kind of famous. And then I don't know where you go from there. I don't know. At some point, Taylor Swift is going to get old enough that she's going to like be like essentially our mom's friend. She's starting to look like that, where she dresses kind of conservatively like that. Or this
yeah.
looks like my mom's friend when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I'm like starting to like the fashion. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm getting old too." Just like
Right. I'm having conversations with myself. I did this in all my college years where I looked at women for like years and tried to figure out if they were attractive or not. And
yeah.
I never figure it out. I'm like, I don't know if Taylor Swift's attractive. She's very thin, but I like the talent. And I never figure it out. I never figure out
Yeah.
what's going on with her. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I she must be, I guess, right? Like,
I guess I don't know. Well, maybe
yeah.
that's the secret sauce to her popularity. Is like we never really answer it. We just kind of go like,
That's true. The
all right.
intrigue is always there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we click on the Instagram story, be like, all right, let me read what this is about real quick. And then, okay, I'll move on. And like, what's up with that one dude she dated? All right. And then we're in the rabbit hole for 7 minutes and then we go
Oh
back.
yeah. I
Who's
was
figured
like,
it
who
out?
is this guy? Yes.
Yeah. Most pop stars have that 5 year run tops, and she's going on 10 plus.
Where does she go from here? I mean, I'm
I
sure
don't
she
know.
will do bigger and better things because that's just who she is. But this tour, like, what is her next tour going to be? I don't
Yeah.
know how you do that.
Yeah. Good question. Like, it doesn't seem like this is toppable beyond
Yeah,
like, well, I don't want to step on the category massive predictions, but can Taylor Swift sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl this year? What about that? Or Super Bowl halftime? That has got to be
that
talked
makes
about at some
sense.
point.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard a rumor that she's turned down the Super Bowl.
I would believe it. It's got to have been
Yeah.
offered, right?
Yeah, I think well, and there I think maybe it was like right after the Kaepernick stuff, and she was like, I'm not because her
Hmm.
PR. I mean, she probably believes in this too, but like her PR is so important that she felt like, I'm not touching that.
Right. Give it a year. Give it 2 years.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love that. And I think like talk about bringing non-football fans to the
Hmm.
net, like the viewing. That would be
Yeah, good point. And
good.
at this point, what is more a piece of Americana than Taylor Swift at this point? Like
Yeah,
she's got to be part of the Super Bowl at some point. She
yeah,
is she is integral to our pop culture. And the Super Bowl
yeah.
halftime and everything is always top of the pop culture.
Definitely. We had to do it at our law school orientation. We had to do like a get to know you bingo. And
Oh, it's nice to know that's even done in higher learning.
I felt I was like, and like, there's students that are like 22 years old, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So, but we had to like write certain things that we found in common about each other. And I was like, did anyone go see Taylor Swift?
Ah.
And like everyone at the table like kind of looked around. Like there were two kinds of people. There were people that went and people that wanted to go. There wasn't anybody that was like, who?
Yeah, that would be a good bit. Like you go on the street and you try and get a person who doesn't know Taylor Swift.
Oh, that would be tough. Yeah.
Really, really tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Saturday Night Live bit or a Tonight Show bit type of
That's
thing.
a good challenge. Yeah. I'm
Hmm.
gonna try and figure that out.
It's out there. So you go to
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, but not to be outdone, you also go to the Raiders preseason game last week.
Yeah. I mean, both, both were performances.
Yes. You go.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
what's your assessment? How do they look?
I err on the side of being positive, but I was thrilled with the performance. I think of course it's hard to tell. It's the rookies are in,
Hmm.
and Jimmy didn't touch the ball. Our defensive starter didn't touch the ball really, but I was, first of all, AOC, I mean, talk about a performance, like the top
Hmm.
quarterback of the week in the NFL. He was so poised and he moved well. And I was like, this attitude is what we need. I also was impressed with the defense. I mean, the secondary got burned a couple times, but like, it's the NFL. That's going to happen. Holding the Niners to 7 points, I thought was very. I was very pleased with that. So yeah, I was happy overall. The Niner fans were not happy overall. So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So you're positive. It seems like you're a conservative positive right now, which
yeah,
makes sense for the preseason. We can't get too up, we can't get too down. I like that Jimmy G suited up but didn't play. Like I like that he suited. Like let's just see what he looks like in the uniform.
yeah,
Let's get
right.
a look at this man and see how
Yeah,
he holds himself.
yeah, exactly. I think he's trying to be really involved. I think he's really trying to lead the team immediately. Like he's like, this is my job. I'm going to talk trash to the defense and Max Crosby and like make sure they're on their game. He definitely is not feeling like, oh, I'm this, outsider. I'm new. He's like, let's go. Let's do
Wow.
this.
Well, this seems like a bit of a new Jimmy. I don't remember him being this way
Right.
in the
Yeah.
Niner uniform. Like it seems like he's a little more matured. He's like, I want to be in on this team. I'm a
Later.
handsome devil. On the Niners, I always thought Jimmy G just looked like he was thinking about something dumb. Like he had
Yeah,
that look on his face. And
that's
I don't
right.
think he's had that just in the little Instagram videos and from the preseason. I'm on the sideline. So I'm a glass half full guy right now too. And he
Yeah.
hasn't even played. So that's very, very encouraging. What do you think about this with the Raiders? I'm thinking about this. And you remember how much shit other fans were giving the Raiders when they lost Khalil Mack,
Oh,
Amari Cooper, and we're still trying to get Josh Jacobs in line. But
yeah.
what did Khalil Mack really do at the Bears? Not a ton. What did
Yeah.
Amari Cooper do at the Cowboys? Not a
Dropped
ton. And when's
passes.
the last
Yeah.
running back that had two good seasons in a row? So, how about a little props to the Raiders got some stuff out of people who didn't really perform after they left the silver and black. I'm glass half full right now, so I'm thinking on the
Yeah.
positive.
No, I'm with you, I think. And I know that the Josh Jacobs conversation is touchy right now. I
Hmm.
I do think Josh will come back. I think they're trying to renegotiate and they're reopening the talks. I think it's tricky because the running back market we're seeing it revealed this season.
Hmm.
And I just think he he's going to have to take less money. It's just the reality.
You think he will?
I, I think I think he will. I mean, the only example that I can think of someone who didn't take the money and sat out a whole year is Le'Veon Bell, and like that didn't go well. He ended up taking
Right.
a lot less money the next year.
That's
Um,
true. Yeah, I forgot about him. He held out. And the other one I can think of is Ezekiel Elliott, held out, paid him, and then share the other guy had the better season last year than him.
yeah,
Another running back. So I for some reason this doesn't worry me if we lose them. I just think running backs are replaceable, but I do worry
yeah,
about a little bit of a Jimmy G security blanket. That
yeah.
that one guy who can put the team on his shoulders in week 8 when we need him.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy, the injury situation is tricky. I mean, I suppose, and this is not to trash our former quarterback because I don't want to do that, but I think I'd rather have a quarterback that's willing to go out and give it his all and maybe get injured, and mentor the next guy than a quarterback who's so scared of getting injured he like can't play under pressure.
Hmm.
Um, which again, I don't mean to trash Carr. I don't think he always did that, but I think that breaking his leg, that's a horrible injury.
Yeah.
I'd be scared too.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. The parting of Carr, I think Raider fans are a little uneasy. Like it's still a little tender. Like he
Yeah.
gave a lot to the team, but he was subpar last year. It was hard to watch. It
Yeah.
was, it was tough. It was kind of like he was like your best friend's boyfriend and they broke up and then you saw him on the street and you were like, "Ah, well, good for him."
Yeah. Right.
You kind of were
He's an
like, "All
okay
right,
guy.
live your life over there."
Yeah. Right.
That's
Like,
fine. That's fine.
yeah.
All right, well, let's talk Hard Knocks. Episode 2 was tonight. We just watched it and then we flipped on the recorder. What's your relationship to Hard Knocks in general? Are you a person who like can't wait for it? Do you always watch it or are you recent to it like me just in the last couple years? We're like, all right, I got to consume all this.
Yeah. I started watching it when they filmed The Raiders. And then I didn't watch last season, just because life, but I am excited about it. To be honest, like, and I feel like I'm trash talking a lot. I was really excited for the quarterback series on Netflix, and I kind of found that to be slow. And I'm finding Hard Knocks to be more interesting for.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this last week where I was like, Hard Knocks, you're not the only game in town anymore.
Yeah.
Quarterback is a documentary on Netflix you can watch. Or if you want to go dark, you can watch the Manziel one. That's you're like, good God, this is
Yeah.
terrible.
Right.
There is no shortage of NFL documentaries anymore that are top notch. But you found
Yeah.
quarterback to be a little slow, huh?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because we have to deal with Mahomes being such a good quarterback in our
Mm-hmm.
division. But I think, no offense to Kirk Cousins, I found that part a little bit slow. I did like Mariota. I think like his story is interesting. And I really liked the fact that his wife was like super involved in like helping him learn
Oh
plays.
yeah, yeah, I do like
That was
that.
cool.
That's good. Just quizzing him on the iPad, like when your dad forces you to study with him in
Right.
school.
Yeah.
It's like we're not going to bed till you get
Yeah.
this.
You're gonna miss this. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I found it like, and maybe it's because I was watching I forget what it was called, but that golf documentary where they kind of follow the PGA
Oh
tour.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. What
Fascinating.
was that called? I forgot. That was good too. That was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just my mood or my mindset, but I like, I wish that maybe instead of Kirk Cousins, they had chosen like someone like Gardner Minshew or
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you were to,
Joe Burrow.
that's a good comp. Is like, who would you take out and put in here? You take out Cousins and go with someone else because they were all like relatively tame stories.
Yeah.
Like they were all very well put together individuals. They were all
Yeah.
family men. And Kirk
Like,
Cousins
let's
is
see
singing
like
song.
the kind
Yeah,
of unhinged
Kirk
person.
Cousins was America's dad. He's singing songs to his son.
Yeah. Like the wife is like, oh, we shot at Target. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow.
that was great. He's like, my wife dresses me.
Yeah, right. Like, okay.
Kirk Cousins could not be more of a dad. America's
Yeah.
dad, Kirk Cousins. Oh, it's 4th and 8. Let's call a play for 4 yards.
Yeah. Right.
Jesus, we poor guy. We had to relive that. And we're like, oh yeah, that's how his season ended. That was horrific.
Yeah.
Rough. That was
I,
rough.
yeah.
Episode 2, Hard Knocks.
Back to Hard Knocks. Yeah.
Back to back to Taylor Swift. Back to Hard Knocks. All right, here's how it opens with they pronounced his name weird. Was it Oz Perlman? They put his name up. I thought it was Oz, but they called him Oz Perlman. The
Yeah.
mentalist comes out and does some mind-blowing tricks in front of everybody. And I don't know about you, but I cannot get enough of people reacting to magic.
Yeah.
And not just people. I love it when black dudes react to magic because they go fucking crazy and it's the best. They're like walking out of the room, they're screaming, they're going awesome. The mentalist. I could have used 10 more minutes of
Yeah.
him
I was very like, I
doing
didn't
tricks.
want to like give away the bag and be like, well, like my favorite part was the first part, but
Mhm.
because it's so fascinating. You're right. It's really fascinating to see people that we respect, these top-notch athletes, like be totally like wilded out by like this magician. I mean, his personality was like that kind of, he has this like salmon suit on.
Yeah.
I didn't really like his prediction for the Super Bowl, but
Right, right.
we'll see.
We have a prediction. So like write it down now. We are actually going to see if this mentalist
Yeah,
is
let's see
worth it
what
or
he
not,
does.
cuz Richard predicted the Jets and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Like of all the super, that would probably be my bottom 5, I would think, of matchups that I would choose.
Yeah.
He
I
had
think
that.
Niners Chiefs is like maybe the only worst one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we start with the mentalist, which I always like when they kind of bring in somebody to like, entertain them. Like one year was like
Yeah.
they went somewhere to like an amusement park or something.
Oh,
Like there always is something fun. It's like very much of a camp feel. So
yeah.
the fact that because by and large, a little bit of a slow moving episode. So we had some fun stuff at the beginning, and then we just sort of coasted the
Yeah.
rest of the episode.
I
So
agree.
so some of the stuff that sort of stood out to me was I like how Jets practice kind of turned into rollerball at one point, and they're fighting with each other, and they're like
Yeah.
yelling at each other. So that was kind of fun. And then I think
Yeah.
that does Aaron Rodgers just know everybody in the league?
That guy was like, too many people. He just, yeah, I mean,
he,
he's been around for a while, so he's sort of
he
like the
really
old dad.
he really does. He's picking up grass, he's throwing it in the air, he's rubbing his hands with it.
He's like, you have grass on your. I was like, did you go to this team because it's the color of grass?
Good question. Yeah, I really wanted to go to a team that was the color of the earth.
He would so say that.
I
Yeah.
forget how long Aaron Rodgers has been in our life because they do the shot of he's like, I picked this up in Green Bay, and they show him in Green Bay picking up the grass, and he's clean shaven. His eyes look different. I'm like, oh my God, he looks like he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
Here, I'm
It's,
like, I forget how long. You show him now, and he looks like he's 45
yeah.
with a beard.
COVID aged us all. So
Yeah, he got old. The dark
yeah.
room retreat, somehow he got older.
Yeah. Maybe he's wiser and it's just coming through in his facial hair.
Well, he definitely knows everybody. He's hugging everybody. And you know what I noticed about Aaron Rodgers? His voice never changes. His
No,
voice is always at the same tone
kind
all
of a
the time.
people.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's good or bad.
So did you sort of wonder if he was like more of a distraction than a help with his like headset on?
Ah, yeah. Oh, during the preseason game?
Yeah, I was kind of like, should you have this? You're like really coaching or I
He
don't
is kind of coaching the team. He reminds
yeah,
me of the senior in high school who's buddy buddy with all the coaches,
yeah,
and they let him kind of do whatever he wants.
yeah. It's
So
like
I
the
yeah,
air.
that's a good question. Was he actually helping or hurting that preseason game?
I mean, it seems like Zach Wilson really likes his mentorship, but like one of my favorite not to like go ahead, but one of my favorite quotes was when he was like trying to he called him the umpire, and he was like,
Hmm.
like do a replay because there was like sweat on the ball.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. To Carl the referee.
And he
Yeah,
called
he's
him
like, hey
the
Carl. He
umpire.
knows the referees by their first name. He wants
Yeah,
towels for the ball. Actually, that was the only time his voice went up, is when he was yelling for the play. He's like, he didn't like that they stopped the play or something. He was like, what's
yeah,
going on?
yeah.
What's the problem? I'm like, wow, Aaron Rodgers ramped up here.
I know the whole time we see him excited.
Yeah, like even when he got mad at his offensive line or something, when they were like sacking him a lot, like it didn't seem like his voice was raised either.
No, he's sort of like a Phil Jackson kind of
Mm,
character. Like he's like you can tell he like gets passionate, but he doesn't raise his voice. He's kind of like, okay, like
yeah. Well,
yeah.
put yourself in the shoes of a Jets fan right now. Like, what would be your fears for Aaron Rodgers this year? Because my fear is he's turning slowly into the Kobe Bryant where
Mm.
he's all in, but as soon as his teammates start fucking up or something happens he doesn't like, he checks out and he gets
Mhm.
mad.
Mhm.
And like every time, this is what all old quarterbacks did in the late 80s and 90s. Every time they threw an interception, they would go off the sideline and they would go to the receiver and they would go, you should have done one of these. Like, what are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
so what is what if you're a Jets fan? What would be your fears and what would be your motivations for this year?
I mean, I think the fear is we just got this guy and we kind of went all in on him and like we haven't their only Super Bowl is 67, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like their year, right? Not the
Big
Cowboys.
chance. Yeah.
Um, and is it right? Is he old enough that like Aaron Rodgers is going to retire and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame no matter what? Does he want the win with this team
Mm-hmm.
enough to get the whole team there?
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It's a good question. Like, what if the Jets start out 1-4? What's Aaron Rodgers' motivation then?
right.
Would be
Yeah.
my question. I mean, the positive thing is to think like, oh, remember the Tom Brady move? Like he had two great seasons. They won a Super Bowl. Brett Favre with the Vikings, they had a real chance.
Right.
Maybe that little spark they could harness. But if I'm watching this Hard Knocks series, like what is this series really about? Like they
Yeah.
focus on Aaron Rodgers the most. We still
Yeah.
don't know a lot about the coach. We haven't even touched anybody's family members yet. Like there's usually a section where we go into the wives and the mothers and where
Yeah.
they're from. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's coming or what, but it seems like we're spinning our wheels a little bit. Hard Knocks
Yeah.
with the first two episodes. What do you think?
Yeah, I remember like I don't know why. One of my vivid memories of the Raiders Hard Knocks is when Antonio Brown's son is like, "Come on, Steelers." And he's like, "No, no, no,
Right.
no."
Right. We need a kid. A kid we need in
Yeah.
this series. Maybe it's coming. But there's
Yeah.
only 5 episodes. We haven't met anybody's family yet.
Well, yeah, and like I was like sort of looking on Twitter and like some people love Robert Saleh and some people hate him and I'm like, how do you even decide?
Yeah.
He's just sort of I think he's a great coach. Like I think the way he kind of talks to the team, the way he analyzes what's going on, I think he's a brilliant coach. But yeah, I don't people were like, what is even his like daily routine? I'm like, he
Right.
obviously works
Right.
out, but like
Even the years where like they did the Cleveland one, we learned all about the coach Hugh Jackson and his family, and like he had a
yeah,
sister, and like it humanized the series. We haven't got there yet
yeah.
with this one, and I'm wondering if it's going to turn, or I'm wondering if there's just not anything there to it, and we can watch practice, and Aaron Rodgers can pick up grass for another 3 episodes,
He's so
and
great.
maybe we bring in Oz Perlman again.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a fan favorite for sure.
All right, here's what definitely missed. I'm not even going to sugarcoat this one. The rookie show.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little lackluster. The rookies did not put on a good show. The
No,
PowerPoint was not well received.
no, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either.
I don't think anybody else did. The guy was like, there's 21 questions. Like, what?
Ah, like you might as well have brought out like a board game. Or like we're all gonna play a board game and then Jenga for our rookie show.
Yeah. I
It seemed like they were gonna dance. Like that would have been good.
yeah, I thought they were gonna do like a skit where they like made fun of themselves and then they just kind of said their name, like their nicknames. I
Yeah.
was really confused.
Yeah, like if you and I were to coordinate a rookie show, I think a dance would be good because the rookies
Yes.
can look silly, or like a talent show. Like those rookies, everyone's got a
Well,
talent.
yeah.
Someone could play the
Even if it's
trumpet or
silly.
something.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
how would you structure a rookie show? What would be your call?
that's such a good question. You know, I don't know if I would do this exactly, but like some of the TikToks that I enjoy the most are like when the media team is just asking all the players like, "What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?" And you know, some of
Hmm.
them are like they know the deep cuts. They're like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
like Sparks Fly" or like "Back to December," and like some of them are like, "I only know Love Story." And then one guy, I think he was on the Vikings, said, "Oh, she stinks," and everybody was like.
yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Or
I
even
think
worst
I,
case scenario, just baby pictures. Put up baby pictures of them, and then everybody can laugh at them. That'll
yeah,
be a bad rookie show. Rookies, come on, guys.
yeah. Come on, you're on TV. Like, what?
Hmm. It's almost like the rookies need. Remember when you were in high school and there was like a freshman guidance counselor, a sophomore guidance counselor? They needed a rookie guidance counselor to get everybody together and be like, "Hey, let's come up with a plan
Yeah,
for the
like
rookie show."
when I did my master's at U Chicago or not, at the Divinity School, we had to do like shows per grade, and we all did skits, and we all just made fun of the faculty. And like, even if it's the silliest thing, it's like the fact that everybody's in on it, it's funny. So like, they could have just made fun of like the rest of the team, and it would have been.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope they make him do another rookie show, because that was not acceptable. It was like, you guys thought of this 15 minutes before this, and then you threw together some sort of power. They might as well have had him play Wordle. Like, that was as bad. It would have been just as effective, maybe even better. Be like, all right, we're gonna play Wordle.
Yeah,
and they would have lasted longer than what they got through. Really bad rookies. I'm worried for this team all of a sudden.
Yeah, oof, the creativity. Yikes.
Very, very curious. And then it ends with the preseason game. They beat the Panthers. They kill them, and you would think like they won the Super Bowl or something. But it's the preseason, like a win is a win. It's something to get excited about. This I was thinking about this with, now that we saw practice, we saw preseason game, regular season coming up. This is kind of the schedule for the off season. First you have practices, then you have joint practices with like another team, then you have a preseason game against that team.
Yeah.
And then you start the regular season. It's just like we just bang our heads against each other from all year long. Like this, how much more creative do we have to get with off season, preseason, and the season? I can see how these guys get so tired of this routine by, like, I was going to say by the end of the season, but I would be tired of this by the middle of the season.
I'm already tired if I'm like doing all, and you're doing it in the heat for a lot of teams. Like, in Vegas, like, they're like, oh, we started at 8 a.m. It's already 100 degrees.
Yeah,
like,
we had a massive heat wave. It was 90 plus by 8 a.m.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they're at the team facility, which they're going to be at all year long. They used to go to a camp, like they would go somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
And that was kind of fun. They would sleep indoors, but like, we're going to be here all year long.
Yeah.
It seems tough. It seems mentally draining.
Oh, the kind of ironic thing is, like, I've read all the stories of like the Raiders training camp in Santa Rosa, where they basically, they worked hard, but they partied.
Yeah. I heard somewhere on some show that the envy of the NFL was the Raiders training camp, because they went to wine country and it was like 5-star dinners and great accommodations.
Oh yeah, that era too. Yeah. Like, and then the alumni would come, and
Yeah, we haven't had it. When's Namath coming to Jets practice? Namath is alive, right? Like, I even asked myself, like, is he alive? Because he has to be there.
Like, we would have heard about the death, right? Like,
he's got to be. He's like, who else could the Jets bring? Vinny Testaverde? That would be funny.
Bring the people that maybe they're too old now, but they could bring the Heidi game folks.
Okay, that's good.
Like, the whole thing.
Something to give us a little bit of the Jets history. Like, this is the history, guys, and this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jets practice. Interesting episode. Well, let's go to the awards for the week. We have 7 to give out. First one is most memorable moment of the episode. We know it's not the rookie show. Most memorable.
That's an award for another category.
Right. Least memorable. But my nominee would be Oz Perlman.
Yeah.
It was fun, and it was trippy, and people were freaking out over magic. And I told you I needed 10 more minutes. We needed like the end credits, which was fun. We got to see Leslie Nielsen do funny lines, but I thought they were going to put in more Oz Perlman in the credits, just doing a few more tricks.
Yeah. I'm totally with you. And I think that was the biggest team building exercise they did together, because the rookie show clearly divided people.
Separated people.
My other nominee would be when they were trying to guess when Aaron Rodgers was going to throw fakes. That was sort of
that was interesting. Yeah. Did you guess right? Did you try and play along and see if you could guess?
I tried, and I honestly didn't do very well, because I was like trying to focus on too many things, but I forgot who said like, you're easy.
Right. He was that was a shitty fake.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was like, and I think he was wrong. So I was like, oh yeah, that was shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I've been picking up grass for 10 years. I know what to do.
Yeah. He's like on his mushrooms.
I thought it would have been funny if Oz Perlman started taking liberties with the games, especially when he had Aaron Rodgers holding the deck of cards. And he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, let's see what's in the card. It's the contract you held out on for the Green Bay Packers for 3.5 years." Whoa! Like he could have
Yeah.
like started doing some
Like a
funny
little
comedy.
roast.
Yep. He started doing a little roasting with it.
That
Like he
would have
could
been
have
really
pulled out like a wig from somewhere and he could have put it on the head coach's bald head.
Oh my God.
I needed
Yeah, we
more.
needed him. He was
Mhm.
great.
I needed more. I needed
Yeah.
more Perlman.
Yeah.
Um, any other most memorable moments? I'll tell you another one that is not memorable. Watching someone getting their nose pierced, I could have done without.
Yeah. That was like, I can't. I mean, I have my ears pierced and I was just like in pain. Like, ugh.
Like, are we
Yeah.
out of ideas? Hard Knocks? Does anybody drive a cool car? Can we watch them drive the cool car or something?
Yeah. Like, or
Ugh.
even like the interaction, like the little interactions we got where the one guy was like, "You're shady. Where'd you go to school?" Like
Yeah.
those little interactions are really fascinating to me.
Yeah, those are, I like those
You
too.
know?
The little like talking back and forth. Like last
Yeah.
week, the guy called the charcuterie board the charcuterie board. We need like we haven't got a silly coach yet. Like there's always one coach that's kind of comical. We haven't got that yet.
Gruden was so good at that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, a little short on memorable moments, but Oz Perlman was pretty good. The
Yeah.
puzzle I thought could have been faked. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like all those pieces could have been the same piece.
That
So
would have been a dirty trick.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it'd be like, and that piece fits was like, but they're all the same piece. But the number, guessing the jersey number, I thought was pretty mind blowing.
Yeah. I was like, what?
Have you ever been to any of those shows where like it's a mentalist or a hypnotist live? Have you ever seen one live? It's pretty mind boggling.
It's really weird. Yeah, I think they brought a hypnotist when I went to I went to a boarding school for high school, and so to do like this sort of team building thing, they brought a hypnotist, and so I had like kind of met all of my classmates, but like to see them like get up and like dance or whatever, like
Hmm.
was very mind blowing. And then to ask them about it, like the way they described the experience is like, yeah, I just felt really free. Like I felt like I wanted to. And it's like,
Hmm. Weird.
wow, okay. Yeah.
That is so, I've seen it a few times where like it's a comedy show and I'm like sitting there, I was like, well, I don't know the volunteers, of course, but like
Right.
there's no way they could be faking this. Like they're
Yeah.
really dancing, they're really pissing themselves, they're really
Yeah.
acting like whatever they tell them. But I went to one in college and they do the show. It was me and my two friends, and they do the show. We watched the show. It was fun. And then the show ends, and we go, "Hey, crazy show, right?" To our one friend, and he goes, "Yeah, when's it gonna start?" And we're like, "It's over." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, 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 I know." I was like, "Did you get hypnotized?"
Yeah.
He got hypnotized from the audience. He didn't remember the show. He was out of it. He's like, "Yeah, when's it gonna start?" I was like, "Dude, you got hypnotized." And he's like, "Nah, I was fucking around. I was fucking around." I was like, "No, no,
Just
no.
kidding. Just kidding.
You got hypnotized, dude."
Yeah. No, that's
I think it's real. I think hypnotism is real. And I think if the
definitely
Jets go 1-4, we need Oz Perlman in the locker room.
he needs to be like part of the staff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Next award, favorite quote of the episode. Um,
Okay.
I got a few nominees
Okay.
for
Let's
you.
see.
I got number one is when they come into halftime of the preseason game and some random coach says, "Everybody keep going on a straight path."
Yeah.
Coaches are king of the nonsensical platitude. Oh, I love it. I played high school football for 2 years, and it was everybody grab a chair. Helmet's not a chair. Everybody grab a knee. Everybody play with pride. Everybody remember what you came for. I'm like, what are we?
Yeah.
These are the world's worst Hallmark cards. That's my first nominee. Nominee number two, Aaron Rodgers. Toss the ball. Don't spin it. Aaron Rodgers is a little mad at his center.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to lift your leg and mark your territory.
Mm-hmm.
Was
I remember
one.
that.
And Coach Sala, final nominee. Those who live in hope die in shit. Never
Mm.
heard that quote before. Is that a real quote? Have
Oh,
you heard that?
no, but I will remember that. Those are all really good. I,
Those are my nominees. I think my winner is going to be Toss the Ball, Don't Spin It, because Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers was getting a little testy.
Yeah. The one, like one of the moments, like the only
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I, yeah, those are all incredible. Let's see. I wrote down, You Shifty Dog. That was the
Good
school
one.
to go to. I liked when Nathaniel Hackett said, "You really turned me on that one."
Yes, that's the mic'd up stuff we want to catch. We want to hear
Yeah,
the
right.
fucked
I
up
was like,
stuff. It's
"Whoa."
like, oh, yeah. Okay. Well, if you think about it, an NFL team is really not that far removed from Lord of the Flies.
No,
And at
it's
some
true.
point, you put a bunch of dudes together, it turns very homoerotic at some point.
Yeah. That's what we wanted the rookie show to be.
Yeah, do some gay stuff for us. Entertain us,
Yeah, come
rookies.
on.
I'm with it.
And then I liked when Robert Saleh said, "I love kicking people's asses." That motivated me.
I did like that too, where I was like, you beat the Panthers in the preseason.
Yeah. Yeah. The Panthers, oof, they looked
Yeah, I'll tell you who lost the episode was the Panthers this week. Jesus, they look terrible.
more than the rookies. Yeah.
Poor Panthers. I had a coach, and this was his quote for us in football health class. Every time he summoned you and you ran over or you did something with running, he would say to me, Ramirez, you're slower than dog shit in January. I have no idea what that means. I've never heard anybody explain it to me. I know it means I'm not fast, but that was a quote I've never heard anyone else say in my entire life, and yet that was his quote for everybody.
I feel like he made that up, or someone said that to him, and so he was like,
yes. Yeah, that's the other thing about coaches. They are not original. They hear something, and they will say it for the next 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you're a kid and you grow up a little bit and you watch the movie Caddyshack or Fletch, you go, hey, that's where you got all those quotes from.
Yeah.
The like when you said something and the coach, instead of saying excuse me, the coach says excuse you. Like,
yeah,
that's from Fletch, dude. I saw that movie too.
We've seen that. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I was thinking about heavyweights when the kids play like this MVP camp, and the one coach, like, he doesn't know about baseball, so he's like, put her in the pocket, swing harder. I don't know what I'm saying.
Baseball's another good one for stupid coach platitudes. You're right. Like, just put a little wood on it. Put a little wood on it. Find some grass out there. Baseball was invented for eating while playing the sport.
Absolutely. It goes too fast now too. Like, you can't eat enough. You're like just going so fast.
Baseball and bowling, great sports to eat at.
Yes, agreed.
All right, next award. What job would you want from this episode? I had one in mind because it looked like it was the most fun. And it was, if you're the starting quarterback for the first preseason game, you don't play, you don't even have to suit up. You just stand on the sideline and you can just talk shit all game long. So I wanted Aaron Rodgers' job for this episode. Wear the shorts and tap everybody on the helmet when they come off the sideline.
Hang out. Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, if it's not Oz Perlman, because he seemed to have a pretty cool job.
Oh, yeah. You want to be the mentalist.
I mean, like, I would love to captivate an audience like that.
But, yeah, think how intimidating that job is. Like, go in with a bunch of like huge, gigantic muscle men on a football team, and you have to command their attention.
Right.
And he did it.
You can't get it wrong. Like, you can't be like, oops, I messed up that trick. Like,
right.
You can't do that.
What happens when they get it wrong? Or do they not get it wrong? I don't know.
Yeah. They had a mentalist on one of the Bachelor episodes one time, and like the Bachelor like completely changed his outlook on who he was going to pick because of like,
oh wow,
what happened. And I was just like, what if this is a load of shit? Like,
yeah, good point. Huh. Well, yeah, we needed more Oz Perlman.
Yeah, we really we need like a whole episode on him.
Yeah,
like,
we need him in the huddle. You
Yeah.
need him on the side, definitely on the sideline.
Yeah. And how did he become a mental? Like, who did he
Hmm.
wake up and say, I want to be a mentalist?
Yes, it's a very specific type of person who
Yeah,
wants to
I
be a
definitely.
mentalist. Just this side of crazy narcissist monster,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you could take those powers and turn them into evil very easily. I
Definitely.
would think.
Oh, yeah. Don't work for the government, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that we know of.
Right. Yeah.
Next category, my favorite one, unintended comedy of the episode. I got a couple nominees. I don't know if you noticed this. They come in from halftime from the preseason game, and there's a guy who's obviously the kicker, and he's eating. He's eating like a power bar or something. I'm like, what are you hungry? He's not like giving high fives to people. Like the kicker's on his own, so he brings his own lunch and he eats at halftime.
That's that reminded me of who was it might have been Mahomes, but like I think they were playing the Raiders. No, it was Mark Sanchez. And
Oh, the
he
hot
like,
dog.
yeah, he was like eating a hot dog. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm hungry.
And he was trying extra hard to hide it too. He was like, he put his hat
Yeah,
low. You
it's
try
a
to
hot
eat it
dog.
when you try and sneak food in class. Remember when you
Yeah,
would try and do that? You'd be like, you would hold your paper up to your mouth.
yeah, yeah. And that's the least conspicuous thing you can eat because you have to like
Hmm. That is a good question. What's the eating situation in the NFL? Because you got
yeah,
water bottles everywhere. I'm sure there you can eat like a power bar or something on the
right. Like
sideline.
you're sweating. I mean, yeah, you need your electrolytes.
Yeah. And then you go into the locker room. I'm sure there's some food options in there
That
like
must,
bananas or something.
yeah, that's probably yeah, potassium. You yeah, can
Yeah,
definitely
so that's just the logistics. That's what I love about these documentaries is like the logistics. Like where's the bus pick them up? What's the
right. Yeah,
that's the behind the scenes stuff I never can get enough of. And we haven't seen that yet.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we get the game like every week. We want to see the human
Hmm.
element. Yeah.
Yeah, it always drives me nuts too. Now you got me upset. When you watch remember there's this thing on the NFL network and it's called Mic'd Up and you get to hear what they
Yeah.
say, and they hear him say, "Okay, we're going to call this play, blah 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 blah," and then they run the play and they run the radio call during the play. I'm
Yeah.
like, "We heard the radio call. We want to
Yeah.
hear them say like, oh fuck yeah,' or like, oh you blew it. Oh, you
Yeah.
drive me
Right.
crazy.
Kill
Like,
it.
why are we hearing this?"
Yeah. No, it needs to be. They do a better job of that in baseball, I think, when they like mic up the outfielder
Hmm.
and they're like, "Woo, that's a dinner."
Yeah, like I want to hear when they say like goofy stuff, like the
Yeah.
big burly guy says like "gosh darn it" or something like that. Like I want to hear them be human like that, or like Kirk Cousins was trying to curse in quarterback,
Oh
and
my God.
God
Yeah.
dang it.
Yeah. I don't know if I think you're a Dodger fan. But Freddie Freeman is like the first baseman, and he's like the wholesome dad. And they try to get him to get heated, and he's like, "My goodness, that's so funny." Like,
God Almighty, or like just
yeah,
silly stuff like that from big burly men will never
it's
not be funny.
yeah, it's awesome.
Um, Oh, I got one more unintended comedy. This one
Okay,
struck me as funny. The end of the preseason game, Adam Thielen goes up to Zach Wilson and he says like, "Hey, it's a hard leak, man." And Zach Wilson keeps like, "No doubt." And you got to keep your head above water. Will do. And you got to, like one play at a time. I got you. Like Zach Wilson could not want to be more out of that conversation. And
yeah,
Thielen just kept going for another lap around it. I thought that was good. He like wanted to
yeah.
get off the phone where he's like, "We'll do. We'll do.
Okay,
Gotcha."
okay, okay. It's like when you're
Well,
on the phone with your mom, and you're like, "Okay, okay, okay, okay." Love my mom, and I'm like, "Okay, okay."
or like like when you go, all right, that's how you know
Yeah.
the conversation is like this person wants off.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's always someone that doesn't know the phone call like
No.
etiquette. And you're like, well, I should probably go fold my laundry.
Hmm. Hmm. Or I like when when someone wants to get off, but they put it on you and they go like, well, I'll let you go. Like, I
Yeah,
don't have to go.
yeah, yeah. You're like, I didn't. Am I the rude? What?
You called me.
Yeah. Um,
What do you got for unintended comedy?
I will go with there was another Zach Wilson moment, and I can't remember what Aaron Rodgers said to him, but Aaron Rodgers was like, do this. And Zach Wilson
Mm.
goes, why? And Aaron Rodgers was like, I like he didn't expect to be asked why. So he was just
Right, right.
do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Questioning Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of like the shark has no natural predators. So when you
yeah.
go at a shark, it gets confused.
Like
So maybe that's how Aaron Rodgers is. He's like, why would I do that, Aaron Rodgers? Like, what? What?
yeah. He was like
Are you
taken
questioning me?
aback.
That's a good one. That's good
Yeah.
unintended comedy. Next category. This one's called Producer Meeting. What show would you like to make out of this episode? I already penciled in Aaron Rodgers and the referee Carl are in a
Mm,
buddy comedy.
yeah. Like
The one,
yeah, a friend
maybe
like
they're
us.
cops or maybe they're solving crimes or they're roommates. Like in the 80s where every third sitcom was just wacky roommate pairings.
Yeah. Ooh, that's so good.
But Aaron Rodgers and Carl the referee are still Aaron Rodgers and Carl the referee. So Aaron
Right.
Rodgers comes home from the games, Carl the referee comes home from the games,
Hanging
and
up his
they
whistle.
right, and they're like, "Who left this pizza out?" And they have just these little silly roommate conversations.
Gotta wash your dishes, man.
Right, right. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna turn in, and then they argue about who paid the phone bill.
Yeah.
I
Oh
got
my
that one as my make a show out of this. Or I've got
God.
a real simple one where Aaron Rodgers just reviews his favorite movies, like at the end of the episode. I'd like to
Yeah.
hear what his favorite movies are.
Same. Yeah. I think like to have to question why again, like
Hmm.
that would either be like amazing or we would just be like, what? Like he'd be like,
Yeah,
because all the energy of the film and it like the crystal of it.
right.
Yeah.
This film is a real auteur from film noir.
Yeah.
Or what do you think Aaron Rodgers' favorite movie is? I could see him as a Coen Brothers fan, like
Maybe. Yeah.
weird,
Yeah.
dark comedy, but also
Yeah.
could see him as liking screwball comedy too, like a little bit of a curveball.
Like,
From
dude, where's my car?
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, you know what I love? Basketball.
yeah.
He's like, that movie's funny.
And again, we need more of this in Hard Knocks. Like,
Yeah,
what is this movie? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. What show did you want to make out of this episode?
Man, mine is not very humorous, but I really wanted an I wanted like a Real Housewives type show, but with Robert Saleh. Like who like does he like argue with his wife? Like
Oh yeah, like follow
does
him
he do the
home.
coach thing with his kids? Like, come on, son. Like, what does he do like
Hmm.
at home?
Yep, I would want to know that. Definitely, I want
Yeah.
to know what his house looks like.
Yeah.
I
Like
want to know what
cribs,
is.
like that kind of thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
want
absolutely. I hope it's coming in this series. Otherwise, this is like a 5 out of 10. If we're just gonna
well,
watch him play football.
part of me was like, maybe they don't, because like I know the Raiders, like they allow family at training camp, but then like they don't like you have to be back in your hotel and like in meetings and stuff. Like you don't get to see your family all day. So
Hmm.
I wonder that, but then like at the preseason game, like they have fans.
Right?
So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
we could follow the family independent of the player. Like we could go to
yeah,
their house and watch and get them mic'd up while they sat
that
in the
would be
stands.
like quarterback did
Hmm.
that. Yeah, that would be
Yeah, that
great.
was the best part of that
Yeah.
series was listening to Mahomes's wife and hearing her story, how she was like, what sport was she into? I forgot, but she was good at some sport in high school and
Yeah.
college. That was really good. Like I don't know why we're gonna follow around Aaron Rodgers picking up grass.
Yeah.
We can't do this for 3 more episodes, can we?
I hope not.
So yeah, I like hearing like how they met the spouse
Mhm.
too. Like, is this a high school
Right.
sweetheart thing? Is this a
Yeah.
college thing? Is this an internet thing? Did they meet online? Like, let's hear
Aaron
that.
Rodgers totally goes on online dating sites.
Oh, yeah. That would be another question. Like, who's Aaron Rodgers next? Who's he going to date next? Because he has
Yeah.
quite the resume.
Yeah. He's sort of like Jimmy G in that respect, I think. Like,
Hmm.
he's not a Derek Carr, like high school sweetheart, you know.
Yeah. How upset, neutral, or over the moon would you be if Aaron Rodgers is spotted in Malibu with Taylor Swift?
Oh my God.
That
I
would shock
feel
everybody.
it would. And inevitably, when they broke up, there would be like millions of people that hated Aaron Rodgers.
Right,
Everyone
right.
hates her exes.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. And then she could be like, oh, no, you don't see the Aaron Rodgers I see. She
Yeah.
could do that whole thing.
There'd be an
He's really
album
centered.
called The Green Album about
Oh,
that.
that's good. Yes. That's good.
Okay,
She
we
could
need
do
this
it.
to
We
happen.
need this. We need
Yeah.
this. Oh, we just launched the idea for the next tour in 3 years.
Perfect.
We asked,
See?
how could you
Bigger and
top this?
better.
That's how. All right, next award. This one's called Massive Predictions. We get to make a massive prediction based off of this episode. So here's my prediction. I looked up the Jets schedule,
Okay.
and they play week 1, Buffalo, at Dallas, New England, Kansas City, Denver. Their only away game is Dallas. So I predict that the Jets come out of this 3-2, and they're actually competitive in the KC game.
Ooh, ooh.
So like, a touchdown or maybe 10 points, like they play well. But I say they're 3-2. And then as a side note, they play the Raiders week 9, Sunday night in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting. And that's going to be a thriller. Like, people are going to come to Vegas for that.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
Raiders?
like a lot of people that ask me, like, oh, what game should I go to? A lot of them are like, I want to go to the Jets game.
Just to see Aaron Rodgers?
I think, yeah. I think, I guess the Raiders and Jets kind of have history. Like,
That's true. They got some history. We could do some Heidi tie-ins for sure. Someone has to dress up like Heidi Hey, you could dress up like Heidi. That's what you should do.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. I told you I got my tickets for Raiders at Bears. I'm going to go. I'm finally going to go.
So fun too. Yeah.
Yes. It's
Because you
going to
have a
happen.
Chicago connection, right?
Yes, members of my family live there.
Okay.
So I go there quite frequently, but I have not gone to a Raiders game. I've been to 1 or 2 Bears games.
Okay.
So this will be big. I will be surrounded by Bears fans, but I'm going to hold steady. I'm going to put up the flag. I'm going to hold steady. I'm going to put ketchup on the hot dog, and I'm just going to incur the wrath.
You're starting with violence. That's good. That's good.
Yes. Half of me is I put ketchup on there just to get reactions. So I want to see who yells at me. And then I always say like, oh, I thought this was America.
Okay, so short tangent. Is it also a problem to do the ranch on pizza thing?
Is it a problem? I know lots of people that do the ranch on pizza. I don't do it, but I don't begrudge people. I'm not an animal.
I feel like we went to Pequod's, that like famous, like one of
Oh
the
yeah,
famous,
yeah.
like the
Pequod's.
deep dish place.
Mhm.
And we asked for a ranch and they were like, why?
Mm.
And so I was like,
Interesting.
oh, did we just break the code?
Well, they're very particular about their food.
Yes.
But also, with ranch, when did ranch turn the corner on being available for alternate types of food?
Yeah.
It seemed like when I was a child, at some point, people were like, you ever dip your fries in ranch? I'm like, that's gross. You ever put a ranch on your... I'm like, when did ranch become the new go-to everything? And now we just invent trays for ways to eat ranch and stick it in our fat faces.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
I think it was like on the 4th of July, I like asked Instagram a question and I was like, what is the most American thing ever? And like, some people were like, serving your country. And someone said ranch dressing and I was like, you're right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
What is ranch? I don't even know.
I want to know, but I love it. So
You love it. So you're for the ranch on the pizza.
I do like ranch. Yeah. I mean, I I don't know if I put it on anything super weird. I do like to dip my pizza crust in ranch, but
Hmm.
I don't like I wouldn't put it on like macaroni and cheese.
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe that's not weird. I don't know, but
Haven't heard that. Yeah, I just know at some point a side of ranch kind of is just expected. At some
yeah.
point, like here's your side of ranch. Also every region has their ranch,
Yes.
so to speak. I used to live in Utah, and they had something called fry sauce, and I didn't know what it was. And I mean, what it is ketchup and mayo mixed together. It
Okay.
took me a couple of years to come around on fry sauce.
Okay.
It's really good. I was like, nah, I'm an American. I'll stick with ketchup. But I changed my ways. It was good.
Sounds
And it's
delicious.
not available anywhere else. You can buy it at supermarkets or restaurants have it.
Okay.
But that was their thing, fry sauce.
Wow. And it's ketchup and mayo.
It's just ketchup and mayo mixed together.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Great.
every region has their thing. All right, back to
Yeah,
Taylor Swift.
right.
Did you give me a massive prediction?
And it must involve like the Jets.
No, you can go anywhere with this.
I predict that like Aaron Rodgers will do something else that we're just like, what? Like he'll show up to practice with like legal marijuana or something. And
Oh, wow. With like a joint?
like he's gonna headlines for something non-football for sure.
He's going to show up to practice something non football. Interesting. A joint
Yeah.
would be good. I mean, that would be funny.
Yeah. Or like he'll give a lecture on like a book he read about LSD or like
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He could give a book report and he reads something on the government using LSD in the 60s that
He
actually created the
definitely
Manson family.
yeah.
I would listen to that. You got me.
Oh, I am so in. Yeah.
Yep.
That's,
How far into Aaron Rodgers' retirement do you think he starts a podcast?
oh man. Like
That's got to be his next move, right?
yeah. And well, and is it a football podcast or is it like a
No, I say
life?
no. It's Aaron Rodgers' podcast, so it's
Yeah, I think you're
it's
absolutely
shit
right.
he's into. Yeah,
Yeah. Conspiracy theories,
right.
yeah, aliens, all of
Mm-hmm. I'd listen to that.
oh, I'm so in. Yeah.
I'd be in. I would like to see Aaron Rodgers try and sneak a joint like behind the practice facility to like the rookies or the ball boy. He's like, "Hey man, you ever smoke weed?" He's
This will help you throw it.
like, "Ah, I'm not supposed to, Mister Rogers." Nah, come on, it's cool. That's what we need. Hard knocks.
Yeah, that's hey, it's hard knocks.
It is hard knocks.
It's literally, yeah.
Last category. Who won the episode? What do you think? Who came out best in this episode? I'll tell you who it wasn't. Was the Jets defense. They
Correct.
apparently got killed that one time.
Yeah, no, it was not the defense. Well, it wasn't the O line either in the
Not the
beginning.
O line either. You're right.
They got chewed out. Um, so I would go between the producers because I would like I know this episode felt like it left us wanting, but I'm gonna watch it again next week for that reason. I'm
Hmm.
not like, oh, I got everything I needed. And then I said Robert Sala because
That's pretty
he
good. Yeah.
yeah, I'm so intrigued by him.
I like that. Yeah. He is like all these episodes I always write down like whose team really is this? And I think it's Solace. And
Yeah.
so we need to know like what's this guy's story? What's his backstory? How he got the job? Like, did he play football? Type of thing. So I'm with you. I wrote down solid too, and I'm like, this isn't an exciting answer, but I think he won the episode because they
Yeah.
won the preseason game, and
Mhm.
he's I mean he's got this team playing and practicing and improving, and like he was kind of pissed off that one practice. He was like, we're not ready to play football.
Yeah, no, he like chewed people out like because at the first episode I kind of felt like okay he's kind of a calm like he says fuck a lot but like he's kind of a calm like this episode he turned it on so
Yeah, I got Robert Sala as well as
okay
the non-sexy answer, but I also have another one who didn't win the episode. You know that coach on the Panthers that Aaron Rodgers knew? And he goes up to him and hugs him. He calls him a little bitch. And then he says, like, how much weight have you lost? And he's like, I'm up 5 pounds. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's in the episode for 10 seconds and the world knows he gained weight.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like, he should have petitioned the producers, like, can you blank out my face for this episode?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers just came up and cold cocked me.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you're right. There were a lot of non-winners in the episode.
Right. Right. Odd episode. This is an episode where you could have taken several pee breaks if you wanted.
Yeah, I
You're
definitely.
like, all right, I'm gonna go grab popcorn. I'm gonna go.
Right. I like looked at Amazon for a second. I was like, oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we're building to something.
Hopefully. I mean, it's like, I feel like with the Raiders one, like, I mean, I was probably like super invested because it was my team, but I do remember the different storyline. Sometimes like the storylines petered out too. Like we would follow a rookie and then we just like wouldn't hear back about him. And maybe that's just because there wasn't anything there.
Mm-hmm. Or we'd get our heart broken too when the player got cut or something.
Keelan Doss was the player that I was like so into his story and then he got cut.
Right. We need conflict. We need a little heartbreak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I liked at the end how Saleh said, like, he was like, this is another like quote that you're like, what is that? He was like, this is us. This is us.
That's a good quote. Good coach quote.
I believed him, but I was also like, I don't know who it is, but yeah.
Yep. Rodgers, you're slower than dog shit in January. I don't know if he'll say that this year. Plus, that was never explained to me. Never got it. Never understood it.
I'm going to say that to people now.
Oh, get it going. Yeah, that'd be nice. See if anybody knows. I don't know if it's too late to rewrite your PhD dissertation paper, but if you want to write it on the actual meaning of what it is to be slower than dog shit in January.
Oh yeah, that will be a great first book. Well,
that was episode 2 with Jem the Baker, who I call the queen of the Raiders. She is at Baker_Raiderette. Are you ready for the season to start?
I'm more than ready.
Got a little music to play us out to. Hark Knocks. The Raiders are 1-0 in the preseason. The Jets are predicting they're going to play the Super Bowl against the 49ers. Awesome program and mentalist. And we have our hope time. Thank you, Jem. I'll see you next time. That is it. That is the episode. Episode 2 of Hard Knocks. Coach Saleh, Aaron Rodgers, and a whole lot of grass throwing. Well, Hard Knocks is building to something. I hope it is, because we need some action. Come on, Hard Knocks. Get with this. Show us some family members. Bring a hypnotist in it. I'll take a juggler. Give me a juggler. I hope you enjoyed it. That was me and Jem the Baker dishing it up. Don't forget, see me tonight, August 16th, 6 p.m., Burbank Comedy Festival. Let me know you're coming. I got your free hookup. Come see me, not to mention other comics as well. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, do it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything's up there. Sports, comedy, and beyond. Next week, episode 3, Hard Knocks. I will have a new guest with me, breaking it all down. I hope to see you there. Thank you, and thanks for listening.